Hi, and welcome to Honeywell's Technology Forum. My name is Mike Noyes. I'm the general manager for our productivity software and solutions business. I'm very pleased today to be joined by Joe Baidoon from Lipari Foods. I'm coming to you from Fort Mill, South Carolina at our headquarters, and I'm going to turn it over and let Joe introduce himself, and then I'm looking forward to a very engaged conversation with Joe about how Lipari Foods has built their technology platform and utilizing Honeywell solutions in their work environment. Joe, would you mind taking a moment to say hello to our audience and introducing yourself?
Yeah, thank you for that. I'm Joe Baidoon, and thanks to the current situation, I'm coming to you from my bedroom in Dearborn, Michigan. But what I'd like to say is I've spent the last 20 years of my career at Lipari Foods just working on making warehousing more efficient and introducing as much technology as we can to the workforce that basically picks and delivers our product.
That's great, Joe, and thanks so much for being with us. And it's a pleasure to meet you virtually. I'm looking forward to the conversation. So, Joe, I wanted to just jump right in. First kind of question, and I think it'll help introduce our audience a little bit more to Lipari Foods. Can you tell us a little bit about Lipari Foods? Quick business overview of what you do, but really wanted you to focus on the manner in which you differentiate your business and maybe from your competitors and the way you use AIDC technology to kind of drive your business.
First I'd like to get into Lipari Foods and how we are different. And I've been saying that for many, many years. We are different and we are still different. What we do is very unique in the fact that we do have one single distribution center and we deliver product everywhere. I'm talking from Warren, Michigan, all the way down to Florida. We go all the way east, close to Philadelphia. We run a hub and spoke model. We don't build a lot of buildings, so we have a single building, and what we do in that single building is throw as much efficiency into that building as possible, so we can be, very efficient towards our transportation. Our key differentiator as a business has been next day delivery. So you get you order your product. You're in Wisconsin, for instance, Madison, Wisconsin, and you want to order your product today by 11 a.m. The delivery comes to your door the next day. It takes a tremendous effort to get that done. It's a lot of people and a lot of moving parts in a single facility. So we deploy and we employ as much technology as we can. However, with the restriction of let's not build the full-on automation because we want to be nimble and we want to be flexible. We're in an acquiring mode, so we acquire a lot of companies. Our business is constantly evolving. And just being limited to a certain space for a certain type of item just doesn't work for us because we add SKUs and we add customers consistently all the time through our distribution.
No, that's great. Very insightful, very helpful overview. So that kind of helps me transition to the next question. I can imagine a lot of our audience members watching or maybe at an early stage or considering this type of technology. Or maybe even at a mid stage. Could you give us a little history and just talk about, what was it that made, utilizing these type of technologies, AIDC technologies, so important to Lipari Foods? How did it really get its start and take hold? What was that journey? What did that look like?
I mean, like with any company, we started, slowly. We realized, maybe the forklifts need some equipment to put product correctly in pallets. But that quickly evolved as our business grew, and efficiencies. And we're in the perishable business, so you got to track, information about product coming in, inbound. It's got to be efficient. We build really tall pallets, which is, very different from the typical industry. And the reason for that with the hub and spoke model is we build pallets that are upwards of 80 cube because we want to build transportation efficiency leaving our facility. We fill our truck to the max going down to a hub, and then we separate that into different delivery trucks. And it's food products, and it's a lot of different products. Product that's heavy, product that's light, product that expires, product that leaks, product that has allergens. So there's a lot of data capture that needs to happen and a lot of proper handling that has to happen through the entire supply chain. We realized pretty early that we needed some technology to at least scan stuff in. So I sit here and then it's, we were a small company when we decided to get into RF technology. I still don't understand how a lot of companies operate without doing some of that stuff. So Yeah, I mean, we equip our forklifts are equipped with big screens. We feed them as much information as they can because we realize the forklift most of the time, they're picking up product from one location, driving it to another location. So we need to feed them as much information as we can capture about them. And with growing technologies, a lot of stuff coming from Honeywell. We have big screens. We can feed a lot of information. We can tell you where to go, the most efficient path to get there, what's coming in your next queue, and how you're performing. A lot of people want to know how they're performing. And then some of that also includes how people around you are performing, so maybe help you perform a little bit better. So there's a lot of technology that comes with presenting, what you're going to present to your employee. We do a lot of work, again, with our selectors, and we'll get into some more of the voice technology that we use and we've been using for many, many years. So a lot of this stuff is really, to me, necessary for somebody to operate a facility, a warehouse in this day and age.
Yeah. No, listen, that's a fantastic journey and really a great lesson for a lot of our audience members. Thanks for sharing that. Maybe just as we kind of close on this, intro theme, what have you seen as terms of the biggest gains from this technology? What areas around productivity or pick times, anything that really jumps out where you felt like it was a step change in your business and you felt like this technology is really helping us transform? Anything you could share with our audience on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll create a baseline. I think a baseline is you need technology to capture your product, that it made it into the building and it made it to a specific location and it left that specific location. The game changer came for us when we installed voice technology. Voice technology is a little bit different. It speaks to you and it's not visual, and it's not paper. And during these times, these very difficult times, we suffer. Everybody's suffering from labor shortages. Our turnover is really high. We're not proud of that number, but it is really high, and it's hard to control. However, what we've realized with voice technology and technology in general is it's a set number of steps that you take to perform a task. It doesn't change, because the piece of paper is different that you present to somebody or labels are different. Yeah. With voice technology, the instructions are coming to you. We control what you hear and what you feed back. I mean, we give you a set of 50 words and that's all you're saying. And that's all you're communicating. Same with RF technology. Products in front of you, you count it, you put that information in. You're not remembering anything. And it's almost like it's directing you. It's almost like managing you towards your task. The next piece of all this technology and the piece that I've worked on very hard in the last 4 or 5 years is the data that's coming from all of this. The data is a lot of real-time information, a lot of information that you can give your supervisors so they can manage people. Currently we feed the information to our supervisors and managers in real time. They could be on the floor. They know where certain selectors are. They know who's not performing, so they can go actually meet them at the next location they're supposed to get to. And I feel that there's a lot more coming in that realm, and it can only be accomplished if you have good AIDC technology.
Yeah, no, that's great. Fantastic. I just want to change themes a little bit now, and want to talk about changes that are impacting the warehouse in DC. I mean, that clearly has been such an important part for Lipari Foods, the nucleus of which, a lot of your product and goods pass through. I just wanted to see, how do you see the changes impacting the warehouse DC environment? What are those themes that you've recognized maybe over the past few years or as you look into the future? And what do you feel Lipari Foods has to do to stay competitive with a changing warehouse DC kind of environment?
As I've said before, our warehouse really supports our sales structure. It's not designed to be profitable. So we have to insert technology that doesn't hurt sales. That's basically how we think about it. What's coming at us right now is a lot of different things. I mean, the labor force has been probably one of the biggest issues we've dealt with in the last couple of years. It's something that me personally, I mean, I deal with the technology of it. And luckily I don't have, I don't have to staff that warehouse myself, but I do feel that those folks out there managing the warehouse and just finding the right people to do the right tasks out there, it's been a tremendous task. And that was even before COVID, and COVID just really took that to another level, just finding people and the turnover rates. So I really feel, what we need to do to differentiate is just invest in more technology. And we've seen that. And I think some of the software that we put out there can only be done if you have, physical technology, like, hardware that can control it. Like if you're going to put out a gamification module to help incentivize your selectors to pick faster, well, you can only do that if the selector has that information handy to them. And we do stuff like TV screens and TV monitors that in real time can tell you where you rank as far as your selection. And we focus a lot on selection because, we have 300 selectors picking product at the same time. And that's just a well-oiled machine that has to go through. So in order to accomplish a lot of that stuff, you have to have technology that can feed that data not only to your management and supervision, but directly to the people using the product. And that's been the key element that we'd like to focus on, is just make sure that data is available all the way down to the last employee in line.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, really, really impressive. Staying with this theme a little bit, I'm going to just talk a little bit about e-commerce, but, clearly you've talked a lot about the world-class technology and systems that Lipari's used and adopted. And I'm just curious if you could talk a little bit more about software. And I know TMS systems, WMS systems are a big part of kind of the DNA there. Obviously, you've talked about it. It's seen on your company's website, and I've been familiarized with it. How would you say you use, whether it's those software solutions, TMS or WMS, or other software within your organization, your operations, to kind of combat fragmented operations and stay competitive in a e-commerce world where you see a lot of the competition move into omni-channel sales? Could you share a little of your thoughts, around that aspect?
And yeah, this goes out to any company looking at replacing the WMS or adding a WMS, enhancing their WMS. I mean, I'll say clearly, your WMS is gonna cost you money, but whatever cost you put into it is typically has a payback. Unlike other softwares, it's one of those that really feeds to a lot of the things that you do and keeps your organization operating at optimum. The things that we used to do 20 years ago or 18 years ago with WMS, it used to be, this is the package. The package was designed to run efficiently. Try to fit your operation into that package. While that's great if you're an operation that really doesn't have a structured process in place. Once you are structured and you know what your processes are, your WMS needs to constantly evolve. So that means you no longer have the separation between us and IT and the people managing the warehouse, where they come to you and make these suggestions and you push back saying, no, that's not how the system works. That should never be a conversation between us two teams. You have to evolve your WMS. Your WMS will be customized to what you do, and it'll be as efficient as possible. So unfortunately, that comes with a lot of headaches on the IT, from an IT perspective, but it's what's needed to differentiate you, to make you more efficient, and to make you as efficient to the type of business that you're doing as possible. That's how I feel. I know I didn't feel like that maybe 15 years ago. We didn't have good processes to say, all around. And we are still learning. Like, I'll go in next week and I can walk through a process and find ways to improve it using software, using programming, and improve our WMS or TMS for that matter.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I love to hear the way you talk too about your view of it's come to change. And I think you said 15 years. I mean, that's a long journey, but the way you've embraced it clearly has been very beneficial for, your customers and your employees and the products that you serve. So that's great. I really appreciate that. Excellent caller. So I just want to switch themes again here, and I wanted to kind of go into one of our last themes, which is a little bit around last mile delivery, and really try to focus this next question and conversation around the 2020 environment we've had. This has been, life-changing and disruptive for so many, but yet, the sun rises and we go forward. Just wanted to talk about last mile and how that's really changed and grown in the past few years. We hear it a lot. We see other companies talking about it and adopting it. And especially, again, in 2020, I mean, that has been so critical, and we've really seen, supply chains change and think about last mile delivery in a much different manner. For Lipari Foods, what does last mile delivery mean? Why is it important for you? Can you just tell our audience members, a Lipari Foods take on last mile delivery?
Yeah, I mean, Lipari Foods is a customer-centric organization. And by saying that is we have two people that really matter the most to our customer. That one of them is our sales rep, and the second one is our delivery driver. We have not pushed our entire organization to e-commerce where we tell you, here's an iPad, put your order in. It sounds efficient, but it creates a separation between you and a person facing you, telling you this is the type of product you need to buy. And the reason for that, again, we have over 30,000 SKUs that we stock that you can pick from and get delivered to your facility. So if you didn't know that, or you're focused on just what you're doing at a store, our salesman comes in and enhances your portfolio, enhances your profits, hopefully by adding new products and new visions for you. And it comes from different regions. So we're obviously a Michigan company, but we flow into 17 different states. So you could get product that's hot in one state introduced to a different state because the idea hasn't reached them yet. The second person, which is the person that does the last mile delivery, is our driver. That person is the one that maintains the business with that customer. The back door is so critical for us. We have to open that back door and deliver the product fast, efficient for our customer. We have to be respectful of their docks. We have over 8,000 customers also, when we open that door of that truck and try to drop our products, and we're not seeing the same thing every time. It's not a dock. Sometimes a parking lot. Sometimes a two-wheel delivery that goes through to a pizzeria. Sometimes an old lady in the back of the shop can't lift a bag of flour to put it on the shelf. That driver has to do that for her. So there's a lot of stuff that we put ourselves, we present ourselves as somebody that can perform that task better than our competitors. And that's what's kept us in business since 1963. The Lipari family has done a phenomenal job maintaining that customer culture at our facility. As far as technology, I've pushed hard to put technology with our drivers, and it's been a difficult journey for me, mainly because it's difficult. We have so many delivery drivers. We have over 250 delivery drivers. Everybody's scared about putting technology that's so far from the technology hub, which is our main headquarters. So we've tested technology. We've played around with a lot of Honeywell devices to get on people's hands. I think there's a tremendous payback, and that's coming soon. But at this point in time, we're still delivering with invoices. But I think the relationship that we have there is extraordinary compared to other places.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love hearing the talk there about the customer at the end of that last mile delivery. I mean, I love hearing that focus because that really is what it's about. And, clearly your company's embraced it and doing a fantastic job with it. That was great to hear. So thanks for sharing that. So Joe, I wanted to kind of wrap, at Honeywell, we talk about, we create the future, and we're very proud of the technology DNA and that we're a fast moving, nimble company. I wanted to ask you about how you, Joe, and how Lipari Foods sees the future of technology. What aspects of the business is Lipari maybe already looking at? Or you might say, hey, where do you need a company like Honeywell to come along and develop? If you've got any sound bites on that, I know our audience members would love to hear, and I personally would love to hear what you have to say. So maybe you could kind of help us bring the conversation to close on that theme.
Yeah, I mean, if you know much about our organization, we push our vendors hard. You're not a vendor to us. Honeywell is not a vendor to us. They're a partner. They're a technology partner. So you feedback, you give us technology, and we'll give you what the technology needs to do. And we push hard. Yes, I mean, it's fantastic to see a company like Honeywell that can actually pull that off. Every piece of technology that we've looked into for warehousing and transportation, my first call is always my Honeywell rep, just to see what you guys have. And luckily we have a good relationship to where, sometimes I get the call to say, hey, we have new products. Let's look at them. Just technology, I'd like to close on a lot of the technology stuff. Now that we have data capture, it's out there, and the computers are really powerful enough. So we really don't need more powerful processors. We just need new things to do different stuff. I think sensor technology is where Honeywell needs to focus on. And then behind the scenes is integration. When you put out new technology, it's not just, hey, it does this fantastic thing such as facial recognition or temperature tracking when you walk in the building. Everybody wants integration. Everybody put out there that, hey, we can measure your temperature through this camera. You go look at it. The first question that I asked was, okay, well, that's fantastic. Can it tie into my payroll system? Can it track who's coming in and out of the building? Can it integrate to other things? So I really hope and believe that Honeywell can do this, but the integration between technologies is critical, and that's the next step, the next phase. It's got to be out there, and it's got to be easy to use. It can't take so much effort internally from us to bridge two systems together. I really feel our software vendors, our hardware vendors need to take a step and a leap to get into the software world and see how two hardware technologies get together and speak to each other.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love that theme, and you're absolutely right. It is about bringing hardware and software together, having, as you said, a great solution that's simple, easy to use, very intuitive. So I can tell you, I'll speak for my Honeywell colleagues and team that we're up for the task. And I want to thank you so much for the time you spent today with us and the audience members. A fantastic conversation. I really appreciate the depth and the color you gave us on Lipari Foods. It was certainly very insightful. And again, my thanks for supporting us and being a part of this. And to those audience members watching, thank you so much for joining Joe and myself. And we hope you enjoy the rest of Honeywell's Technology Forum. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you.